So, hello, welcome back to another episode of I am sitting here working something while I'm talking about something that is probably going to be relevant for you and to you, and or at least interesting if you want to listen to it as a podcast. Then it is fine, because you can do whatever as I'm doing. I'm doing whatever, and I am talking and getting done those things that I need to get done. Just because I feel like I'm having the energy today and also the possibility to talk about things that just matter to me and maybe also to you. Let's start with being nice and communication. Two very, very, very important things because, first of all, being nice. I once believed in karma. I still believe in karma, but I just use it as a method I use it as a way to just do good and maybe make it a bit more interesting for me and more relevant for me to be nice. I don't really know. I am just nice. I'm just trying to be nice, and it feels great. It really, really, really feels great. It also makes sense to take care of other people and to do your best. I mean, we are a social system and whatnot, and it makes sense to just be nice. It makes sense to just be good and great and whatnot. But yeah. So, whomever you're talking to, and of course I know that sometimes we are just not good to other people, at least not as good as we should be, and it is fine. Do not judge yourself. It is okay. It is what it is in the end. I mean, sometimes it happens. Sometimes things just happen. Sometimes we just do things, and it is okay. It is fine. It is what it is. In the end, in the real end, as so many things, life just happens sometimes, and actually quite often. But try to do your best. Try to be your best. Try not to be an asshole. Try to just be good. I think it is sensical. Melancholia. I do think that I have pronounced it the correct way. Just before I was recording, I thought, well, let's listen to some music that is gonna let me feel maybe a bit sad, maybe a bit different, maybe it's just gonna let me feel something. I don't know. Possibly it's just gonna let me feel something. And now I realized something, and now I thought about something. I once, very back in the days, was watching South Park. I don't watch too much or too many series at this point. When I'm watching something, I'm watching YouTube videos while I'm just trying to get things done, while I'm just trying to do things. I feel better. I feel better doing something rather than doing nothing. Even if, sometimes I'm overwhelming myself and sometimes I'm just overdoing it. And with time, you're also going to notice those signs and those things your body is trying to tell you that you should be doing something about something. Whether it is doing more, whether it is doing less, whatever it may be, your body's going to tell you. So in this South Park episode, and there's also some memes, it is actually quite prominent and dominant and whatever. I do not know the characters. I am very sorry, but one of them said, I would choose feeling sad over feeling nothing, because I at least know that I'm still alive and that I'm still a living human being. And I thought, well, this is the exact same thing that I was just saying before. At least I'm feeling something, even if it is a bit of sadness, even if it is something quote unquote negative, what even is negative. I'd like to feel that, I just, maybe like to just feel a different way right now than just before. And as I'm talking about it, it is actually rather strange, you know. It is about contrast once again, as so often in life and as so often also in designing something and in general, the creative space, I would say, you know, whether it is about video, whether it is about also audio, contrast is actually pretty important. And I do wonder now if there is some book on contrast, you know, because I would really assume and kind of also hope that there is, because it is so prominent. I mean, it is everywhere, and you can find it everywhere, and you can find it everywhere as a pretty important variable, to be honest. Yes, period, you know, having contrast in life, just changing things up a bit, you know, trying to do different things, trying to see different things, trying to just live, trying to just do something, which may, well, can you apply to it? I'm actually not quite sure, but something one of my professors, and now indeed it is a professor, you know, since I am, well, fortunate enough to be in university at this time. And even, I don't know, like, I think it is a really great experience, and just for that I think it is worthwhile to be in uni and to study something, just to gain the experience of what it is like, you know, what it is like to study, what it is like to deal with very intellectual people and people that are in, you know, the academic space. I think it is incredibly interesting to, you know, to also see their work, see how they work and whatnot. I think you can really get a lot out of the university. It obviously depends on who you are, what you do, your passions, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely not going to be for everyone. Some people just want to do stuff. Some people want to just work. Some people want to earn their money and whatnot. But this kind of, well, this kind of is a point here. My professor said, nobody cares about your grades. Nobody does. Of course, we're going to grade you just, you know, probably because they have to, not because they want to do so. But nobody's going to care about that. Nobody's going to care, and nobody's even going to ask you what your grades were. Of course, when you are trying to apply for a job, for example, then you know, people might ask you, like, you know, could you give me your Zeugnis, which means grade, no, I don't know, just the list of grades you have had in certain subjects. And you know, maybe they are gonna ask, but her point was, and she's working with other very intellectual people, I at least assume, I do not know them, but I assume, you know, because they are teaching at a university, and well, they also seem to be quite professionally achieved. So she said they care about your work and the work you did, you know, the things that you did, the things that you have accomplished, the things that you have built and made and whatnot. And it kind of made me realize, like, and a very great friend of mine, he is very efficient in what he is doing in terms of just trying to not use too much time for whatever it is about. And I always thought, well, I don't know, like, this is not really something that I do, and I always consider myself not being able to do so, but it is actually pretty dumb. Like, why should I put in so much time into something that is maybe not necessarily going to lead to much, you know? Maybe, you know, of course, sometimes hard work can really get you somewhere, but hard work applied to the wrong thing is a stupid idea. And so I thought, well, maybe I should indeed as well be a bit more conscious about the time that I'm putting into, you know, learning and university, and really think about, well, the things that I can learn, not necessarily my grades, not necessarily like my, maybe even academical achievements, even though sometimes I would say they can lead to professional achievements. Of course, being, a tutor even, or a professor at Harvard, it's going to really look good on your book cover, isn't it? It's going to make you a bit more credible, even if it's just a brand. But of course, you can take advantage of that, and maybe even should. So I thought, well, maybe I should work on more things. Maybe I should do more things. Maybe I should just experiment as well on more things. And I immediately thought about my diploma project, which was actually pretty interesting. I don't know if I've ever talked about it. I think I have, but it was a mixture of technical and or technical aspects, and also design, and it's really been one of the greatest projects I think that I've worked on. And I bet if I had taken the chance back in the days to submit it to some competition, I think that I would have been quite well off. I don't want to say like I would have won and it would have been the best and whatnot, but pretty interesting subject and also pretty interesting project. Maybe someday I'm going to kind of revive it, maybe even work on it a bit more. But I thought, well, in terms of my social media presence and what I'm doing on social media, I could actually do a bit more with it, like on Instagram, just going also a bit more into the technical side. Like, okay, I'm not gonna post something that is good looking or aesthetic or whatever it may be, but also has an interesting aspect to it, and technical aspect. Like, and I thought about processing images and kind of doing things, period, like just doing things. What can I do here? Oh, this is actually pretty amazing. I really enjoy that. Oh my god. I am just having a tremendously great time with this. With color grading, indeed. Because I have not seen this interface before in Photoshop, kind of. I don't know why it is there, to be honest. Highlights. I love it. I really do love it. Well, this actually may be one of the greatest posts that I've ever made. This is really, really, really amazing. Even though at first I thought, well, it's actually not that great. I do not like it that much. But, I'm actually quite satisfied. And the thing that I like about technical things, as I think about them, is that you can create something by chance, quite. There is some sort of an random aspects to it. Also in my diploma project, I wasn't kind of designing it like little by little and everything was handmade and everything was man-made or whatever. No, some things were just generated, and I actually really liked it. I really like generated things and just making them a bit better, making them a bit more pleasant to the eye and whatnot. So I actually really gotta have to figure out a way in which I can do that with my Instagram thing. Maybe also actually having a theme. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that I could be doing, so many interesting things that I could be working on besides studying, of course, because I think would actually really make sense, and it would actually be really cool to just work on some things that are worthwhile and great and interesting. Besides it, of course, I'm still having the podcast and whatnot, but I do often have the feeling that I could just do more with it, and I'm a bit unsatisfied with it, and also with the maybe success that I've had with it. Up to this point, quite, but yeah. So do something, Don't only study, also do something. That being said, I'm gonna end the episode here and wish you the best. Bye bye.